I didn't see that coming about Volron.
Tell me about it. One minute they look perfect.
They definitely weren't Renan or Danon.
So what were they then?
Is the most terrifying thing.
How about you, Shion? Doyle?
No, never. However, if they're the same as...
I had just so much I wanted to ask them.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance.
Both sound plausible to my ear.
Yeah, they did. And the next time...
Can't end here! I couldn't make it in time.
How long are we gonna keep this up for exactly?
You got this too much.
Holy land!
Double Demon Fang! Inspiration Wave! Double Demon Fang!
Leave the smelling to me.
Yeah!
Holy land!
Take this! Double Demon Fang! Inspiration Wave! Double Demon Fang!
I'm ready!
Inspiration Wave!
Holy land!
Double Demon Fang! Inspiration Wave!
Take this!
Blah 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 magic!
Denied!
Holy land!
Double Demon! Inspiration Wave!
Now! Play!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! We won.
Goes into trouble.
Come inside me! Yours will be let free! Eat this!
These ones can run rings around us. Not on my watch.
Dragon Swarm!
Lightning again!
Damn it!
Thunderblast!
Too fast!
Illuminate
Stand back.
refraction!
I'll trip it up.
Stardust!
Lightning condense! Thunderblast! Illuminate
Dragon Swarm!
Holy land!
Double Demon Fang! Incineration Wave!
Radiant Light! We can't get out of this!
I can handle it!
Freeze Lancer!
Begin!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
I'm
Can't
ready!
end here!
Don't give up! Holy land! I'll bring you back from death to bed! Resuscitation!
Blackened Blade!
I don't even know the word defeat.
Not done yet!
This one's mine!
Dragon Swarm!
Radiant Strike!
Explosive Ring!
I'm out of ammo! Holy Glimmer! Holy land!
Double Demon Fang! Double Demon!
And more of this and I'll burn out.
Double Demon Fang!
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming Wildfire! I'll shoot down any foe that stands in our way.
What the?
The lights are all out.
Doe?
You two?
Faria, Avakir.
Avakir filled me in about...
She doesn't remember a thing.
He told me about Tarnigan, too.
What difference does it make?
Stop casting me off!
Faria, not now. It can wait.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've...
You're an elite technician, though.
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, but this time not so much as a peep.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be...
What's that supposed to mean?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of... That is, if he ever even existed. Which is looking...
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegis from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So
At ease. Like by letting them hear directly from... That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person?
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over every...
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be Avakir. You mentioned a few facilities or funds.
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldaman and Sia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid, as people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegis, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright, or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like... oh, I don't know. Musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said, I feel like maybe...
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable...
Indeed.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help...
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be? After the second chance that I've been... From this day forth, I shall dedicate my... Though the memories of the departed shall remain...
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here.
True enough. Whatever would...
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have... We should be heading back to the ship. Business... Looks like the people of Lenegis can rest easy.
I couldn't have done... In one sense, when all is said and done...
You, a Renan Lord.
I was complicit in the Renan system, bound by its value. And when I realized the a lord, and yet my first...
I think I can relate. I couldn't stand watching my people bow and scrape. The ability to think for yourself and be your own master. That's what Zephyr taught me how to fight.
Even if it means stumbling along the way. Or, to put it another way, so long as his heart is compromised. This Zephyr character sounds like he was a wise man and...
There's just... so much I...
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
This came out so good.
Have you got... Let's check your equipment lately?
How long have you known...
Known what?
About the darkness I carry inside me?
Why ask me now? But Yeah.
So basically, since the very start of...
Leave the past where it belongs. If my brother could see... Well then.
Kisara? Among other things. To be entirely honest.
You were thinking about Dohalim.
I was just thinking how good it is to... It was always so infuriating, knowing how capable he could be if he... But now, he's...
So...
Oh, I don't know if I'd say sad. There's a bitter... It probably sounds weird, doesn't it?
Must be that maternal...
Rinwell's right. You're like a mother bird, finally letting go as her child takes his first shaking and nervous flight from the nest.
A pretty big child.
That's one way to look at it. All this has made... If Dohalim can forge his own...
Thought we'd find answers on Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more questions.
You can say that again. And now we have more problems to fix, too. Like figuring out how to
That can wait for now. We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is. Like figuring out who's really running the show on Rena.
Yeah. Which is why we're going to the Renan homeworld.
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible for all this. The Red Woman and the Renasalma. The answers have to be there. Are we prepared to finally find them?
So, what do we do first when we get there?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should get a feel for how things are on the ground before we take any serious steps.
It's also entirely possible that the first thing we're...
If we come across a capital, we should... What? Damn! The hell just happened?
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are...
What's that?
The ship's controls aren't accepting my command.
That's bad.
Quite bad.
Is all of this the way?
Are they trying to finish us off?
A flower blooming out of Retta?
But that flower looks like it's
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach.
If that's true, do you think...
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already?
A flower of...
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to Len...
Unfortunately, yes.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines.
So what?
I don't believe this. We're watching Dana die before our eyes.
Law, calm down!
Right. Sorry.
It's still too early to give up. There has to be a way to get out of this.
Alphen.
Now what?
The starship, it's back online?
No, this is different. Something is pulling our ship in towards it.
We managed to get moving, but...
It looks like Lenegis in here.
Do you think we might run into more Renans here?
Perhaps. Someone...
We haven't been ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile.
Hey!
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship.
Shion, just in the nick of...
No!
What the...
No, I'm the one who should apologize.
Again, Law? Can't you even go a minute without putting your foot...
Seriously, it's fine. I'd rather that than people feeling like... Besides, I'm the one who should be vigilant about not touching you guys.
Actually, I've been meaning to ask. Not being...
I guess I never really thought about it in those terms. It was... Before long, it was just part of my everyday reality. Which isn't to say I didn't feel...
So numb to your reality, you couldn't even recognize it as
It's fine.
But... I can't even touch you. No way of lending you a shoulder when you're down?
I appreciate... Until I get rid of these thorns, I guess I'll have to put up with it just a little longer. Maybe it'll be soon, maybe it won't be. But either way...
Yeah, just hang in there. One day, we'll share a big...
Boo! Ah! What the? Are you out of your mind?
Oh, come on! How am I supposed to resist with you?
It's called experiencing feelings appropriate to the situation.
Yeah, but seeing you act all nervous...
Oh,
Staying alert is important, but too much caution can cloud your judgment.
I still can't get over what we saw happening outside.
Yeah, our planet's really not...
I've only ever seen Rena from the surface of Dana, so I figured it was just another round planet like ours. Still though, I never would have imagined Rena actually looked like that.
Beats me. I have absolutely no clue. It's...
Rena and Dana. We were taught that both worlds were spherical bodies. But to think that they lied to us not only about the Sovereign and the Crown contest, but also...
Dohalim.
Okay, who's the wise guy that summoned us here? That beam of light joining Dana and...
That's what it looked like. And then the Danon side responded.
Perhaps it was some kind of directive from the Renan homeworld?
Which would mean that whoever's behind all this is on Rena after all.
Try to stay calm. With so many factors we don't What is it?
No, it's just... so much for me making
You made it this far. Did you notice something? You change it. That's all anyone can do.
This place looks a lot like that room we saw back in the Forbidden Zone.
Huh? What's that? It's one of those!
A red woman in disguise. Or is this their true form?
So it was a trap?
It doesn't look like it can move. Tell me, are you the one who brought us here?
That is correct. It is unusual for me to have unexpected guests these days.
It can talk.
What are you?
Hevrect 35.
Hevrect 35. Is that your name?
Correct.
What is this place? No, wait, before that, just what exactly are you? Are you somehow associated with the Red Women?
Before I answer, I have a question for you. How did you all arrive in this sector?
We did not come to this place by choice. Our ship was brought here against our will, by a group of red women who can shift into the same form as you.
In that case, we can assume my brethren who serve the Great Spirit have deemed you all to be a threat most grave.
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying there really is someone more powerful than the Red Women, pulling their strings?
What did you do to us?
I examined your bodies. You have not been harmed in any way. Identifiers detected. The Sovereign and Maiden are among you. However, you aren't under its control. I see why they viewed you as a danger now.
Oh goody, more riddles.
Do you think we can trust this thing?
Like it or not, it may be our best chance at a ticket out of here. Let's at least hear it out.
We are Helganquil. The Red Women you encountered previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time, but not our true form.
Helganquil?
You are on Date Phasal, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's Great Spirit no longer reaches us here. Since my sudden separation from the Great Spirit's influence, I have used any and all means to extend my lifespan. As I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and research Rena and Dana from this position.
A question. What is this Great Spirit of which you speak? Is it something that rules over your kind?
Correct. The Great Astral Spirit is a large mass of astral energy that fills all of Rena, one with its own will, a voice we cannot refuse.
A voice? Just like Dana.
The voice of the Great Spirit speaks to our hearts directly, and we have served it without question throughout the ages.
Does that mean it was controlling your minds? Wait a second. Could this Great Spirit be the true sovereign of Rena?
The true ruler of Rena. It could be the same thing that's controlling Volron.
Wait, back up. You're telling us this great spirit of yours is the one that ordered you things to harvest the astral energy from Dana? I'm not sure I believe that.
Why not? We've already made contact with the will of Dana back in the Wedge, and in the Forbidden Zone on Lenegis. If Dana has a will of its own, I don't see why Rena wouldn't.
Maybe not, but think about what you're saying. If Dana has a will like Rena, then that would mean that we've been controlled by the voice of Dana this whole time, just like these things.
Dana's will hasn't been forcing us to do anything.
Yeah, but...
Let's assume that what Hevrect 35 claims is true, and that we are indeed cut off from both planets. Even if we had previously been under the control of Dana's will, we would have noticed now that we are disconnected.
Your fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and quieter compared to that of Rena's Great Spirit. Rena's astral energy is amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among all its constituents. So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce and formulate a will. Our findings here indicate as much.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge and Lenegis are where so much of that energy had been accumulated.
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral energy, and the pursuit of that desire is why you see Rena in its current state. As a result, it has turned its attention toward Dana.
Is that why the crown contest is necessary? So that the Great Spirit can feed off of Dana?
Indeed, and it was to that end that we Helganquil devised the crown contest. Had the initial spirit channeling from 300 years ago succeeded, all of Dana's astral energy would have been seized.
But the ceremony failed. Lenegis was severely damaged, and you lost both the Sovereign and the Renis Alma.
Correct. A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channeling's success. However, recreating the Renis Alma required a vast amount of energy. That is why we turned to Dana.
So that was the real purpose behind the crown contest. An efficient means to harvest the necessary energy from Dana.
This is all happening because of me.
Nevertheless, you still haven't answered one of Alphen's original questions. Just why have you brought us here to your base, Hevrect 35?
First, it was to confirm the identities of you, my unexpected visitors. Second, it was to ascertain whether you would be likely to accept my request.
A request? But what could someone like you want us to...
I wish for you all to slay the Great Spirit.
I'm sorry, did you just ask us to kill your master?
I did. It is in your best interest that you do so, I might add.
What makes you say that?
Lenegis has entered the final stage of the spirit channeling plan. As we speak, Dana's energy is being harvested en masse and transmitted to Rena. If nothing is done about the Great Spirit, it will not be long before all is lost.
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier is just the beginning? That...
We won't let that happen.
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly? Is it to save our world? To free you, Helganquil, from under its control? Why?
No. My primary concern is validating our findings and analysis, which have taken many years to realize. As such, it is my desire to see how your actions impact and change these systems. However, I will not deny that vengeance also plays a part.
Vengeance? For what?
In spite of our long service to the Great Spirit, our species is on the brink of extinction.
You mean... you're dying?
At this stage, it would be wise for you to talk with the others. Ask them what you need to know. Once you have your answer, return to me. If you agree to help, I shall fix your ship.
Others? Just how many of you are there?
I am the only Helganquil who inhabits Dake Faisal.
Hey! Hey!
It's no use. I think it's done talking to us. Let's take a look around.